Hello, welcome to my channel. I know my hair isn't quite yet to metal stage, but it's getting there. Alright, let's talk about this Wolf Tooth Encase system. I promised I would do a review of this again after owning it for a while. I've had this system for about a year, and let's talk about it a little bit.
There we go. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Woo. Yeah. That was so fun. Wow. Tree. Yes. You get to see Biff number 2.
So for starters, what is an encase system? Well, an encase system is a product made by Wolf Tooth. And basically what it is it's end caps for your handlebars. They work for road also. And it would just, when the handlebars curve down, that would just go in the end there. And then you can pull these out and there's tools inside. So if you look at mine, you can see they are kind of beat up a little bit. This probably has more to do with me setting it on the ground and things like that. I actually do some urban stuff with this bike sometimes, so maybe I crashed and hit that on pavement, but that's obviously not from dirt. But they do get beat up a little bit. The nice thing is that if you beat them up too much, Wolf Tooth has a replacement sleeves, and then the tool is inside here. So if you look at this, there's these kind of rubber rings right here that they're not removable, but they're on there, and that's kind of basically what keeps it inserted. One of the big questions before I go in and talk about the tools in here, the big question people ask is, have these ever fallen out? And to answer your question, no. I mean, it's not in there super tight, but it's in there tight enough to where I have to actually kind of work it. And there's actually a little lip on the bottom here. I'll flip it upside down just so you can see. There's a little lip on the bottom, and you can kind of get your finger or something under there and pull it out. So when they were new, they were much harder to get out, and now that they've been around a while, they're much easier to get in and out. There is one time of all my riding last year where I hit a tree. I clipped a tree, and what happened is it caught the edge, and this came out about that far. So I clipped the tree, my handlebar went this way, and I actually didn't fall, luckily. And this came out. I noticed it right away and just pushed it back in. So that was it. That was the only time that I've ever seen these actually come out of the handlebar. So I would say they're pretty good to go. That doesn't guarantee that they're never going to fall out. There are probably certain instances, for my example of hitting the tree, maybe if you hit a tree and it did that and you didn't notice, and then you continued riding, or you hit a tree hard enough and the tree grabbed it and yanked it out and it fell on the ground, that could have happened, but it didn't. I got lucky. So they're not, what would you say, indestructible? Well, that's not true. But it's not impossible to lose them, but I didn't have it happen all last year. So that answers that question. There's one on this side. This one isn't as beat up. I'm actually starting to think this wasn't in any video, but when I was out west in Colorado, I'm going to take these out and take them over to my workbench while I'm babbling. When I was out west in Colorado, I had a crash on the right side of the trail. So that's my right side. And I actually fell to the right. It wasn't really much of a crash. I just tipped to the right, but there were a lot of rocks and stuff on the right side of the trail, and my grip dug in. So maybe this is from scraping on the rocks. I bet you that's it, because I just can't figure out how did I get those big gouges in there. But you know, they're going downhill is at quite the speed. Okay, I'm gonna set this phone up on the tripod and we'll take these apart and show you what's in them. Okay, here we go, the Encase system. Excuse my mess here. I have a drone disassembled, things like that. I do a lot of drone stuff, and these cords are all for charging different things. So the tools are basically inside here. So you have one side which has all the little Allen wrenches, Torx wrenches, things like that. And the other side, I'll take it out of here, has, this is slick, I love this. This side has plugs. Like, there's the tool and there's the plug. So this is for tubeless tires. So if you ever get a hole in your tire, you can use the plug, and it's right here in this system. No other multi-tool that I've ever had has that. And then on the other end of this is the chain tool. So if you're wondering how the chain tool works, what you do is you need both halves. You take this half out, and I gotta find the right one. I think it's this one right here, if I remember correctly. You take this out and you stick the small end in. Crossing fingers that I did this right. Oh yes. So this fits in there, and see how you can pull the pin out. So basically you stick your chain in there if you've never used a chain tool, and then you can push the pin out. So let's just say you tweak your chain. Here's a piece of chain right here. You tweak one of the links or something and you need to finish your ride, you can pop that broken link out and shorten your chain. Not ideal. It would limit what gears you can go into, but it would get you home, right? So that's what this is for. And then over on this side, as you can see, I pulled this out to demo the chain tool. These go in there and they magnetically attach. And then you have the little O-rings that go over the top and lock them into place. So you really have all the sizes you need. You have your 8mm on the end here, and then this is, of course, is a little socket to put all these in. And here you have different Torx. Looks like 3 different size Torx. Phillips flathead screwdriver, and then a whole bunch of different hex sizes. And then this is a spoke tool. So that's pretty slick. So you really have everything you need right here in one system. So let's compare this to my other favorite tool. So basically, this is what I normally carry. This is a Crank Brothers multi-tool. So on the bikes that I ride that don't have this, because this is only on my one bike, I carry this. We'll start by weight. Well, it's only fair if we weigh it while they're in the sleeves. But weight-wise, when I compare these two things to this, these are a lot lighter. Like, it's amazing how lightweight this is. So I love that. This is pretty heavy. If you haven't seen one of these, this does have a chain tool. It's got, you know, different size Phillips flat. It's got one size Torx. This is the size that fits like discs and stuff. It's got the, you know, every hex size you'll need, plus an 8mm. So pretty versatile tool here, but not quite as versatile as the Encase system, and this doesn't carry tire plugs or anything like that. And it's a little more cumbersome, but I carry this in my pack when I go on rides and things like that to make sure I have some tools in case something goes wrong. So that's basically the Wolf Tooth Encase system. Super slick, Really love these tools. They've done me well. I believe when I was in Colorado, I believe that's where it happened, is what I'm saying. I did drop one of these things, or I used it and I forgot to put it back in here, which is something I do. Like, I used it and probably set it down or put it in my pocket or whatever. And so all I did was order a new set from Wolf Tooth, but that was my own mistake. It didn't fall out or anything like that. It was just me not remembering to put it back in after I used it. I have had to adjust things. I was adjusting my brakes during that time because doing all the downhill, I realized I needed my levers in a different position because my hands were really hurting. And one time I did a drop off some stairs and my handlebars moved, and I used this to readjust my handlebars, things like that. So they have come into play. I haven't had to use a plug yet, thankfully. And I haven't had to use a chain tool yet, thankfully. So there you go. Wolf Tooth Encase system. Pretty beat up. Still working. Love them. There we go. That's simple. They're back on my bike. I really appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. And yes, at some point, we do have to have a discussion about my hair. See ya.